It's always the beginning.
Did we baptize this? We said it was going to be like Next Gen Unscripted, something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there goes.
Well, if we didn't, or if I forgot, we are going to do it now. Okay.
Okay, sounds
Right
good.
on. Hey, everybody. This is Trey Henderson with the Fredericksburg Regional Chamber of Commerce. We are in our podcast series, Next Gen Unscripted. I am here today joined by Sofia De Hoyos from Rappahannock Goodwill Industries. We are going to talk about all things Next Gen and our upcoming events. And who is Sofia? She's a very interesting person to get to know. We don't have a theme song, but if we had it, we'd play it right here. We can make up a jingle. Sofia, how's it going?
Hi, Trey. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Oh, we have a visitor through our window. You can't see, but we have Wendy. She is trying to cause all sorts of chaos here. Yes, we're so glad you can make it. I'm always impressed that you're able to, make time for Next Gen with your busy job. So super big shout out for you to coming out and helping us. Thank
you, Trey, for being the beating heart of our organization here with Next Gen, really, and just doing a fantastic job. As the Senior Director of Marketing for Rappahannock Goodwill, it's my absolute pleasure to be contributing to the greater good and, the next generation of leaders.
Oh, thank you. She's a huge supporter and always bringing positive energy like that. So love having you around for that. So Senior Director of Marketing, we'll talk about your job just a little bit. Marketing can be vague for a lot of people who don't know the industry super well. Can you share a little bit about what you do at Goodwill and marketing?
Absolutely, Trey. And you're absolutely right with the fact that people think marketing and they're like, okay, sprinkles and stars and, everything's fun. You live in socials and, you're scrolling your phone. It's like, are you working? Yes, I promise you I'm working.
Yeah.
But it's not only that aspect. You have a very analytical side of things. You want to make sure that, the brand and the message resonates with people. And ultimately, that's what we want, particularly for a brand like Rappahannock Goodwill, because, a lot of people have they might have a misconception about what we do at Goodwill. They might think we're only just about collecting donations and that's sad. Or they might think either we're only about thrifting. But no, not at all. We're in the job business and actually our donations and our retail operations fuel the heart of our mission and what we truly do. That is, helping people find jobs, helping people find career training and helping, our region ultimately get those particularly, workers that they need in order to, keep growing. So, yeah.
Absolutely. I'm definitely was in that camp at first before I started plugging more into my local, region and business. Goodwill's not just a storefront for clothes and furniture. There's a lot more going on. And your efforts, I believe it's all your efforts. When I see you on Instagram, RGI, I see a couple of the extra efforts you all are doing, and also too modernizing a lot with the Instagram brand and all the social media. So it's been eye-opening to see how big and Goodwill is, and everything you guys do outside of just a storefront. Like you said, jobs is a huge one, and you all have a mock interview and expo. What's coming on with that? Or no, it's a reverse job fair.
Yes, reverse job fair with King George High School. So that's going to be fantastic.
That is great. That is very great to hear. We as well, our workforce, we do some job fairs and that you were a huge part of last year, this year technically, and mock interviews as well. So we love working together on that. Well, great. I love watching your Instagram and TikTok videos that you all do. Are you the mastermind behind those?
So yes, we do work in the content strategy, but big shout out to the media partners. They're absolutely outstanding. They help us with, bringing that strategy to life. So that is one piece. And, you're always battling with the algorithm and, the trends, plus, how your followers or consumers, they're behaving and all that good stuff. And we want to make sure we help them do what they want, meaning if they want to donate, we want to make sure to have the right information in front of their eyes. If they want to shop, if they want to help, if they want to learn more about our mission, we want to make sure all of that is, convenient and easy access for them.
Absolutely. Yeah. The social media presence of businesses have changed a ton. And it's funny because social media has been around since 2004, MySpace, and businesses have recently gotten a lot more casual with their approach. like I see what you all do, like you do like a store walkthrough, finding an outfit or other trending things. And like businesses weren't doing that, years ago. Like this is a cool a way for y'all to connect a lot better. And you said you worked with the media partners on that?
Yes, yes. Big
Oh,
shout out to Sean Sloan. And like you said, it's just before it was just like, okay, this is fancy and new and we're going to use it somehow and it's going to be great just because it's new. But this time around is like, okay, what content for what purpose?
yeah.
Right. And if we are in the business of jobs, okay, how can we utilize all the spaces to connect with our community better and help them better understand, what do we do and why we do it?
Right. Right. Absolutely. Well, one thing Sophia has done super well with us is really helped me on Next Gen with marketing. And that can come down to a lot of different things, meaning she's helped me create graphics. And by helped, I mean created an entire graphic for me or just random like marketing programs or campaigns that I run or do. I like to run by her. We'll have like a random phone call. She's part of our advisory committee. Each person we've interviewed so far has been part of that council. Sophia's role, she helps with everything, but her specific role is marketing. So I'll give her extra phone calls. And what I like to about working with her, she'll explain why this is better or worse when she creates something or corrects something that is marketing and helping me learn that side that things I haven't necessarily thought about. Like I know marketing that's good when I see it, but I don't necessarily know why. And I don't know how to create it. And Sophia does all of that.
The thing is that, Trey, you listen to him and he brings the best out of all of us at the steering committee. And it's amazing to see, how the inception of an idea takes shape and then, seeing it live and partaking in it. It's absolutely outstanding. It's truly a privilege.
Yeah. Well, it's so cool to think we kind of started from scratch and now we just had an event at 505 with 40 people and we're coming up on a lunch event. We just got some partners. I haven't told you that yet. But yeah, but we're super excited. We're partnering with the community, and on our advisory committee, we can't remember where we left off, but we'll figure it out.
You're about to touch base on the events and then the lunch and learn.
Yeah, so we are having an event with 40 people, and then coming up, we have a lunch that is with Kevin Breen, Goodwill Banker Elite. We're having these official events. We just got some partners as well. We'll announce those here soon online, but very big stuff happening here, and it's all coming to life. Sophia's been with Next Gen since essentially day one. I think it was April, maybe May. No, I think it was April when I first messaged everyone, and we had all these ideas, and I really needed to bring it all in and organize it and get a good committee or council around me of like people like Sophia and the other people we've had on the interview. So on this podcast, let's bring up that event we just mentioned, September 10th.
Okay.
We have
look back and learn, right?
Yes, ma'am. I believe you came up with that term, if I so remember. The look back and learn, because the idea is, well, I'll let you share, Sophia, because you've taken some big passion in this. What is look back and learn lunch?
So look back and learn. So we try to hone in previous experiences during our careers, and the Next Gen group is mostly for young professionals.
Yeah.
And even though, yes, we are young professionals, but we've went through a ton to be where we are right now. And I think Fredericksburg being a flourishing region is like we're sincerely considering looking back at our past, what we've learned, and share that with everyone. Plus, having as a center a more senior member of our community who will actually lead the conversation, and then we'll have Next Gen members, part of the steering committee, share our perspectives, because it's amazing how our stories resonate.
Yeah.
And, without the space, would not be able to maybe connect in the past. So
yeah, absolutely. It's a really cool connection. Like you said, this, I don't know how to quite phrase it, but it's a cool connection between Next Gen and, like you said, someone like Kevin. So Kevin is not Next Gen. He's a very, very tried and true real estate veteran, and he started Goodwill Banker Elite. He has a very cool story about how he did it. And the point of this look back and learn lunch is it's quite in the title, Kevin is looking back at his time growing in this community and his business, himself, professionally, and starting Caldwell Banker Elite, which is a massive, 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 if you're listening to this, you've heard of them, institution here. And if you haven't got to meet Kevin, he's incredible. He's funny. He's wildly smart, very driven. We're subtitling this event, The Love of the Game. Why? Because Kevin, for two reasons. Kevin Breen was a cross-country athlete and got a scholarship to the United States as a cross-country athlete. So there's a big competitive edge to him. All sports have, competitive aspect. And he was sharing why, just that experience as an athlete brought him to this. And as well, how he started in real estate, which is a competitive marketplace, and how he kind of fell in love with just selling homes and working and starting this business and where he is now. And it's such a cool story to hear. No matter who you are, whether you're marketing or a real estate agent or what, this is a very cool story about, just following your dreams and working through it. And so he's looking back through his life and sharing it with us. This, again, is tailored for people that are in this age group, but I think anyone could still benefit from this.
Absolutely. And, that's another thing. I mean, no matter your age, and we just mentioned it because, we are next gen after all. But like Trey was saying, this is not really about the age piece. It's just about the making connections. It's about the finding inspiration in the community. And, sometimes, we, back to the social media piece, I mean, we were online and we find all these fantastic people that, we will not be able to connect with otherwise. But what about our community? What about our surroundings? And I think that's something that we're really trying to do, to establish those connections from within.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm going to pause 1 second. Your mic is like slowly falling. So we'll fix it real quick and I'll edit this out.
There we go.
It was like slowly falling. I can see it very, very casually falling down. I cut out for a second. And mostly because I knew it was going to go lower and lower. We're back. Sophia's mic was falling. It was a good time. So we fixed it. But yes, Kevin Breen is sharing with that, that community growth. And it's also cool. This isn't the point of the event, but his perspective, one, looking at real estate. He's been selling real estate here for decades, and he's seen Fredericksburg and our region entirely change. When did you move here, Sophia?
I moved here, it was March 2022, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
2022? Mm-hmm. Right on. So I moved here 2018, so not much earlier than you. The area has changed a ton. And even honestly, in the past 2 years, you still see stuff popping up left and right. It is growing, growing, growing. And I mean, it's a massive area. And people don't, with Fredericksburg city limits being so small, they don't realize how big our region is together. Between Stafford, Spotsy, King George, Carolines, and the city, we are a very large entity. And that's what I like one thing too about your group, Rappahannock Goodwill. It's not Fredericksburg, it's Rappahannock. It's this region.
Absolutely. Yes.
Do your stores actually, this is a question mostly for me, the stores you all oversee, I mean, it goes all the way up in the northern neck to Culpeper, am I right? Or even further?
Yes, actually, you're spot on.
Oh,
yes.
Look at me.
Look at you. Yes, absolutely. And, we're planning to expand our footprint. Absolutely. Yes, we are. But as of right now, you're spot on, Trey. Yes. Mm. And that's a great thing that you mentioned. You're very much correct. We are, one unit serving the central and northern Virginia.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So interesting. But that's exactly what I bring up too. Like, it's not just Fredericksburg. There's a huge region here, and you can very much see it growing every day. So even from 2022, I'm sure you've seen growth in the area.
Yes, people get so surprised. They're like, I thought you guys only had like that one store, in Fredericksburg, or I just thought, that one store in like Louisa. No, not at all. But that's part of, putting the work and just making or helping people realize that we are a big region all together.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's continuing with this event, how we got Sophia as a speaker. She's going to be having a speaking role if we haven't said that yet here. She is one of our people. Kevin Breen will be speaking most of the time, but we have a huge and great connection with Sophia to bring in the next gen voice, because Kevin is definitely looking back and learning, and so is Sophia. Sophia is next gen with us. She is very much relating to her story, I sent an email out to all of my advisors. I was like, hey, y'all, we want to have one of your voices included. Sofia very much resonated to a lot of Kevin's story. So I'll let you explain quickly why it resonates with you, and then we're really going to dive into, your background and how you got to where you are.
Oh, okay, thank you, Trey. So yes, I still Trey's email, and I'm like, well, cross country scholarship. Well, it sort of resonates with me because I got the opportunity to visit another country on a scholarship. It was an academic based scholarship, but I had the opportunity to go to Spain. Got the scholarship. That was fantastic. I spent 6 months, and I actually don't know how to translate this. Complutense University of Madrid.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, guys. I believe there's no translation for the name Complutense, but there we go.
Okay.
I went there, and I'm like, this resonates with me. That's great. Also, the friendly competition piece, never been too sportsy, actually.
Mm-hmm.
My dad, he was a fantastic basketball player, and he was a coach, and he had every expectation because I'm 5'8". But unfortunately, I didn't pick up on that. However, I love and welcome friendly competition when it comes to school, back in the day.
Yeah.
So on that particular area, I'm like, okay, there were only 2 spots for the particular scholarship, and we were like 2,000 people in that school, and me and my best friend we really wanted that spot. So we shook hands and applied, and it worked out. Actually, we both got in, so that was
perfect.
Great.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah,
that helps a ton to have someone there that too. And that was, I'm sorry, did you say Madrid?
Madrid, yes.
Wonderful.
Madrid,
okay.
Spain. Yeah.
So you moved to Madrid. What year was that?
Oh, that was 2010.
2010. Okay. And were you coming straight from Monterey, or were you in Monterey before then, or did you say you had moved to America at that point?
Oh no, I was in Monterey.
Okay.
So yes, that's my hometown, Monterey, Mexico. So northeast side of Mexico.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So you went from Monterey to Spain. How, I'm sure we can relate to this in a way. Like if I was to go to England, how different did you feel being in Madrid compared to Monterey?
Yeah.
Whether it's language or culture wise.
Yeah, not that much. Interestingly, because I have my family, my mom's side of the family, we have, and like most Mexicans, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we were very close with our Spanish side.
Okay.
And it felt very familiar, and of course there was certain aspects of like a brief cultural shock. But the interesting thing is whenever you move abroad, a lot of people seek for the comfort or solace, if you will, of other familiar faces or your familiar culture. But for us, me and my best friend were roommates. That was not the case for us. We didn't want to hang out with other people coming from. It's not like we didn't want to hang out, right?
Sure.
It's just like we welcome every connection available, and then we realized that at school they will call our group the UN. Because we're so diverse.
Yeah, okay.
We have a handful of Spanish people and just, a ton of other people coming from a whole bunch of different places. So that was fun.
That's very cool. How did you like Madrid as a city?
Oh, I love it. It's a super important spot in my heart. I love it. Yeah, we live close to the Real Madrid Stadium.
Oh, very cool. Bernabeu?
Yeah, Santiago Bernabeu, yeah.
Bernabeu. Close.
Yeah,
very cool, though. Very cool.
You know what? A thing is, I received so many random requests from my family. Just, can you go to the stadium and take a picture and send it to me? And I'm like, okay.
Just look it up.
Yeah, just looking. I'm like, oh, sure. Whatever.
Yeah, you got it. I mean, did you ever go to a game?
I'd never.
Oh, okay. I know you say you weren't really into sports, but Madrid, Real Madrid, come on.
I know. My friends were like, it's an experience, and I agree. It's just I wanted to allocate all my student dollars and my time and everything to the art scene and just museums and food and all that good stuff. But if you ask me again if I'll do it differently, I would. I think I wouldn't limit myself. The look back and learn piece. I wouldn't limit myself, and I'll definitely want to go. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you're in a city where you can learn so much. It's like one of the most historical cities you could see. My soccer side of my head is thinking like you were there when Ronaldo was there. I think if my timeline's right.
We saw him in a club.
No way.
Uh, yes, and everybody was very, very happy, and they were super excited. And I was like, sorry,
That's just a tall man.
but it's yes, I had, but now I recognize back to connections and acknowledging everybody's craft and what they excel at, and just the
Yeah.
fact that they're part of your community somehow. I mean, they're worthy of your respect and your care. So if I can look back and tell young Sophie like, hey, care and be happy about it.
Sure.
You guys saw Ronaldo, I would.
Yeah. I mean, he's also grown bigger too as the time's gone by, and people are like, calling him one of the best and such. But I see what you mean. Like, it's appreciate, even if it's not necessarily your thing,
Exactly.
still appreciating it as such a big part of their culture and the world. But there's so much more going on in Madrid than just soccer. Of course, it's a massive, awesome city, tons of art. I was in the airport there for like 3 hours.
Barajas?
I think so. It was in Madrid. It was the large one.
Yeah.
You could see, I think you could see the stadium. We were just stuck in our terminal for a layover. So I did go to Spain. I went to the Canary Islands. I did not get to do, it was amazing. It was the best. But I didn't get to do any mainland Spain yet, which I would love to do because the Canaries aren't quite the same.
Yet's the key word, Trey.
Yet,
You'll
yeah,
get there.
thank you. Yes, yet. I'm sitting on lots of airline miles, so I got to use those eventually. Maybe it'll be Spain. I'd love to do Madrid and Barcelona and go through like Basque country.
Mm-hmm.
Did you, when you were in Madrid, did you get to explore a little bit around Europe?
A little bit. So Spain, we went to Barcelona. That was fantastic. And again, mind you, this was, student budget.
Yeah.
And we went to Toledo.
Very cool city, I heard.
It's absolutely gorgeous. And this other very small place, very historical as well, Segovia. That's all Spain, I believe. Yes. And we went a couple of times to Italy, Germany, France. Oh, I love France.
So you
I
got
love
to
Paris.
explore. Yeah. Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved Paris. So after Europe and your schooling, was your schooling in marketing?
Well, interestingly, my schooling was communication science.
Communications?
I majored in journalism, and it was absolutely fantastic. And then I did want to school for marketing and did my master's in neuromarketing because I love to better understand what make people tick. I love the cognitive part of what resonates with us, and that was fantastic. But yeah, education evolved. I started my career, wanting to save the world with a microphone and tell the stories and all that good stuff. But
you are now, maybe. Who knows?
I know, right? It's just a matter of connecting people, and I think I never really associated my career with a particular title. It's just the caring and committing piece that is dictated.
I like that.
Life. Yeah.
I like how you say that. Yeah, it's not just like I'm not just a senior director of marketing. Like I care about this and this, and it's a great way to also build a family and work a connection and community with your company or your community. So absolutely. So that master's, did you do that in Madrid or did you move away for that master's? Was that in America?
Oh no! Well, I was in America actually, but it was online. It was a co-ed master's.
Okay.
And I missed graduation. We all did. That's supposed to be in Barcelona. That was that time of the year, and it was we're not going. A lot of people left that on pause, but because you either kept your sanity or continue or. I don't know. It was, for me, I think it was a coping mechanism.
Sure.
And it was very fulfilling. I would have loved to, have a different experience, but, we all changed with COVID and we had to adapt and we had to continue, seeking that growth, in a different manner. So.
Yeah, absolutely. When you moved back or when you were done with your time in Madrid, did you go straight back to Monterey or did you go to America first? I'm trying to figure out your story here.
I know. So I concluded that it was pretty much, I was gearing up to include my last year of college. So I did went back to my graduation ceremony and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So I know that typically in the United States, it's not really customary to do a party after you graduate, university. I mean, just like prom, imagine just prom, but for college.
Yeah.
So that is customary in Mexico. But the party is put together, by the students.
Okay.
So,
that sounds fun.
That was fun. And, I stayed there after college for a couple of years, and then I moved to the U.S.
Really?
Yeah.
Where were you working? What were you doing?
So, after graduation, I started working at a newspaper. So you think started working at, let's say, the Freelance Star.
Okay. The journalism degree paid off.
It did. So I feel very accomplished and graduated, and I'm doing what I really want to do, and I'm covering the sources I want to cover, because it was my passion to cover like cultural topics. So I got that, I got health, and I got entertainment, and I'm like, okay, it's an odd bundle, but I'll take it. So, yeah.
No, well, you got it. That's great. Yeah. That's cool. I didn't know that. I think maybe you've mentioned it before, because I knew you had some journalism background, but that's very cool. I didn't realize you had 3 years of journalism.
So in Spain,
okay, I see.
Yeah, in Spain, it was just very, we did some journalism in there. It actually was like a collective book that we work on as a class, and it got published, and it was pretty much our stories for the entire semester in there. The book was called I Crisis, and it was all about like different topics around crisis in Madrid. And I chose the cultural, like the museum, like the cultural crisis and cultural consumers.
Okay.
So yeah, whole different,
different
really heavy story.
A lot heavier than what you were dealing with when you were writing papers or stories in Monterey. Yeah.
Yeah, significantly different, because as an intern, I started covering, like the red note, and that was definitely a little police side of things. And I saw things that I would never expected to see, but that's okay.
It's journalism.
It's journalism.
Brings you all over.
But if you ask me, I really love to switch gears, and instead of that, interviewing like the Prince of Cambodia.
Wow.
So that was fun. Laurie Holden from the Boys, and what is this?
That's
The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead.
Really?
Yeah, I got to interview Stan Lee. That was fun.
Seriously? Okay.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Oh, wow, I could have a lot of questions about those. That's very interesting. Stan Lee, that's the one that I immediately want to ask about. Was he in Monterey at a point?
He was in Monterey. So Monterey, I think it's the third largest city in Mexico.
It's huge.
It's absolutely huge.
Getting a World Cup match.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he was there for think Monterey Comic-Con. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So the equivalent of that. And he was there. We're waiting for him. His flight was delayed, and it was a private flight, and it was so cool. We're just waiting for him. He was meeting with fans. But of course you have the whole media entourage there, just waiting to get a few words from him. And we waited for like 4 hours.
Wow.
But it was worth it. He was fantastic. He even gave us life advice that I can really entirely pull from memory right now. But it was really valuable. And I will sum it up by saying, he said, just do whatever your heart tells you to.
Mm-hmm.
That was great.
Yeah, I mean, he very much followed that. He did that his whole life. That's very, very, very cool that you got to meet, and not just meet, interview him. I'll have to go find that original interview. Okay, so great. So you had your time in Monterey, and then what came next?
Oh, well, you've met my husband. Mm-hmm. So, he's actually my high school sweetheart.
Wow. Okay. Didn't know that it went that far back. Wow.
Yeah. We've been together for 17 years.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Good.
Forever. But anyway, so
amazing.
There was some long distance in there, but we pulled through, and that was great. So we got married, and the time to determine where we're going to build our home, that important conversation.
Yes.
We chose we chose the United States. We're like, okay, it's going to be, easier. I'm already bilingual. I feel I can easily adapt, and that's okay. Love travels, it's fine.
You've already done a foreign experience in Madrid, so
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
And
used to getting, new culture, thriving.
exactly. So, and I before Spain, this is where I met my husband. I did this like high school program right after I finished my own high school time in Mexico. So instead of taking a sabbatical or going to Canada, I had family here, and it just worked out. So I moved to Savannah for a year, before college and all that. Put in a request to my mom, and I'm like, can I stay here for college? She's like, absolutely not. And I'm like, okay.
So you eventually won the conversation, that argument, but
I did, and I know we're jumping back and forth in all the storyline, but that's life. It's beautiful. Collective happenstances, and you just make the best out of them.
yeah, absolutely, and you very much did. So you guys chose America. Did you all choose Fredericksburg, or was that later?
Oh, that was later. So we were in Savannah, and then
Right. Okay.
a job opportunity for my husband came about, and that was Quantico. I mean, he's not a Marine, but he works with the Department of Defense, and that opportunity was there. And we're like, that's awesome. Let's see how life in base would be, or closer there. And the first word I can tell you came to mind was like expensive.
Really?
Okay. So yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Up north there is expensive. And
Yes.
we're like, okay, let's see what's closer that's still, it's not going to be a difficult commute.
Yeah.
Because mind you, he's lived in Savannah for the majority of his life.
Yeah.
And he was accustomed to like 10-15 minute commutes.
That's nice.
Yes.
That's from Fredericksburg or further south, or depending on how far you have to go from Quantico. It can be, there's people who drive from like Richmond to Quantico.
You're right. And, growing up in Monterey, I mean, you do 1 hour drives every single day because that's how it is.
Really?
Traffic there is absolutely crazy.
Yikes. Okay.
So that's why I'm like, I don't think, you're going to be struggling too much, with commute time. And he's like, yeah, that comes from you because you're accustomed to that.
Yeah. I didn't grow up with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's wild. I was looking at this one like infographic of countries and average commute times to work. And America's is not as bad as you'd think, because everyone talks about the horrible interstate traffic, lack of public transportation. But our commute time is very similar to a lot of places in Europe. And then it said Mexico's was pretty rough. It's a very rough transit for people in Monterey and CDMX and such.
Yeah, traffic there is absolutely awful. And for Mexico City, you also have to account for, community events happening or protests or just, what happens in the hearts of countries, right? In all the capital cities. So
yeah, I mean, that's
fine.
One of the capitals of the world, and especially the Spanish-speaking world. It's a massive city. Okay.
Have you been?
I have not.
Yet is a keyword.
Yeah, exactly. Yet. I would love to do a Mexico trip and Spain. Well, I've done Spain, the Canaries, but still want to do mainland Spain, Basque, and then also hit Mexico City, Monterrey. I was debating during the World Cup coming up about trying to do a trip to multiple stadiums. Rey Azteca, that's in Mexico City, I believe, and that's really where I would like to go. It looks like a beautiful stadium. Okay, so you guys then got an opportunity to go to Fredericksburg because of the job, and you found a good community. And so you were saying it was a lot based on commute and such. So y'all met in the middle and did Fredericksburg, or was there something about the city, or technically in the county, but something about this area you really liked?
Yes. So we noticed that the Fredericksburg area is predominantly very young. So we're like, okay, this feels like we'll be flourishing with the city. And this is coming from me being always very inspirational. I'm like, we can actually be maybe change makers or something. And Demi's like, okay, we're just getting here. Okay.
One step at a time.
One step at a time. But, you know me, Trey, I'm very enthusiastic. I think, like if you put your heart to it, you can go for it. And other people, you will find other fantastic minds that, they're like-minded, kindred spirits, and you will make great things happen. So that was exactly what happened. So that is the mind-blowing piece.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I love to be a part of that story with you, because I love that you moved here, and this so aligns with what we're talking about next gen. You felt like it was a good young community. A lot of people in this region, or in Virginia even, would say Fredericksburg isn't. But if you look at the data, we are. our young population percentage is quite similar to a lot of places, such as Richmond and places in Northern Virginia. It's not very different. It's just a matter of, Fredericksburg City, we've talked about it already today. The city limits are very small. But if you were to combine all of the 20 and 30-year-olds in Stafford, all of PD16, we're a huge community, and they're just not very centered and yet. And where we come in as Next Gen is we get to hopefully be a piece of that, of bringing our young professional community together and being a part of Fredericksburg and this region, and specifically the young community come together and grow and show everyone that. So you came in at the perfect time.
That's wonderful. I think we all did, just at the right time.
Yeah, for real. I just got hired by the chamber and let's do this Next Gen thing. Let's do it. I love community, young professionals. Let's do this together. You just started getting involved. You were with Goodwill when you first moved here at 2022.
So no, okay. I wasn't. So I was actually was an engagement and a wellness coordinator. And that was back in Savannah. COVID hit. So I packed up my laptop and I packed my job with me. So the moment I get to Fredericksburg, you get the opportunity to become a marketing manager for a roofing solutions company. Okay. So this massive enterprise, just 100, I believe there's still 150 units, across the globe. And that was fantastic. Wow. Okay. That was huge. So fun. And then it was that the Goodwill opportunity, came about, and it was amazing. This is my dream job. Absolutely.
It is. I love to hear that. I know you've loved it so far, and we've shared about it events. So I'm glad you found it. And you seem to be thriving there. They put you at the front facing of the company at most events. When I see Goodwill, it's always you and Steve Cox running the show at chamber events that are sponsored by you all, or you're attending. You are a representative very much, and see new events you've been super big at, and as well now Next Gen, you are by far, I think, our most passionate advisor, and we love to see that. So it's been very, very helpful for us, and we love that you're around. And it really is, especially now that you lay out your story, it's such amazing timing in your life to end up here as we're doing this. That's so cool. And now y'all are in the county. Do y'all own a home? You all renting? Are you settled in?
Oh, buying a house. That was, I don't know. With the Olympics and all, they're like, if you could do something that, it could be an Olympic sport or something, it feels super, super challenging. Also, buying a house with the time we did. And, it continues to be, that's a different topic. But let me tell you, so we put our Savannah house for rent. Some friends are renting there. So we're like, okay, that's fine. What are we going to do? We're going to move. We thought it was a fantastic idea to move to an Airbnb to have the full house shopping experience here. Yeah.
Your house hunters.
Let me tell you, it worked out, but it was indeed an experience. It was really interesting to live in an Airbnb for a month.
A month, okay.
Yeah. So it was, a lot of share spaces and all that.
Oh, it was. It was. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting.
Very.
As long as that person that was hosting you, knew what they're signing up for. Was Ginger with you at that time?
It was Ginger. Ginger.
Yes, Ginger is the dog, a beautiful Doberman.
Yes, she's our baby girl of pride and joy, and we had her brother with us. He passed, but two Dobermans, and they had to be the majority of the time. That was so challenging for me. Trey knows me, and I love my dogs. I love my baby girl Ginger, and it was really challenging not to have them with us at all times. Yeah. My in-laws had them. They're in Colonial Heights. So we could be a little more comfortable in the space. All of us thinking mostly of them, right? But yeah, so once we managed to find a place and, secure it, because, they will cancel the appointments. We'll make an appointment at 2 p.m. and they'll cancel at 3. So yeah.
The real estate Olympics sounds incredible. They just, they announced all the sports they're adding for LA 2028 Olympics. I'm like, add it, get us real estate.
For sure.
Yeah, there's 2 different events. There's buying, there's selling.
You can pitch that.
Yeah, we'll see. It's not too late.
They can pick it up.
Yeah, they put on breakdancing. Why can't we do real estate? You know,
I feel, yeah. I'll keep my comments.
dude. The I liked watching the breakdancing, but there was the viral. I'm sure you see it on your Instagram too. The viral Australian dancer who didn't get a single point. My heart goes out to her because
I know.
it's so funny, but it's so bad. That's because she was probably, there's people like having theories out there that she purposefully was doing like bad dances and like trying to bomb on purpose. I don't know. I think she was serious. I think that was her best effort, which it was quite embarrassing.
I don't want to say anything, Trey, because what about if we do the real estate Olympics and they give us 0 points, thinking, why would you guys do that and move to an Airbnb?
Why would you? Yeah. Well, you learned after. We'll say the competition, the points started after you got out of the Airbnb.
Appreciated. Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
So
it's not uncommon for people to do something like that or similar. I had a friend who just moved to San Diego, and they did a month-long. It wasn't an Airbnb. I can't remember what it was. Maybe a Verbo or there's this website that travel nurses use where they have furnished apartments.
Mm-hmm. That was most of our neighbors, actually. Like, it was a huge place. So, yeah, that was very interesting. Traveling nurses. We feel very safe.
There you go.
But, once we finally found a place and all that, it was very interesting for us as newcomers to realize that, people thought very different of, Stafford and Spotsy and Fredericksburg, because we're in Spotsy. But at first it's like, okay, aren't we in Fredericksburg? Like, what's going on? So that was very new to us. And the process of, registering our dogs.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You got to get the dog passport. Were those dogs from Mexico?
No, we got all of them in Savannah.
Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting Savannah. They're Georgian dogs.
They're Georgian.
Not Mexican dogs. They're not perros. Okay.
No. They're bilingual. They're trilingual though.
Really?
Yes.
They respond to sit in Spanish and Bulgarian?
Yep. Yeah. Indeed.
Right. By the way, when I say Bulgarian, Sofia's husband, Dimi, is Bulgarian and is also a race car driver.
Oh, yes. Yes, he is.
We'll pull him in for an interview one day. Another very cool story. Yeah, the Olympics are coming here, and I'm pretty pumped for that. And we'll see if real estate gets there, and if we can be in it. What was I going to say about the Olympics? There was something right on the tip of my tongue. If I forgot, it's probably not that important. Either way, where next? So I feel like we could go forever. So, well, I love that you bring up home ownership because Kevin is, I don't know how much he does with real estate one-on-one, but he owns a real estate business, and he'll talk about, starting his company and how he sold 32 homes in his first year. So all of our listeners out there, we have a lot of great resources with the Chamber and Goodwill, and you'll meet Kevin, who his company has great real estate business. And if y'all resonated with that at all, drop some questions in the comments, come at us, let us know what resonated with, home ownership, and feel free to bring those questions to the Look Back and Learn lunch. We're mostly looking at, the story of Kevin, but it's a great time to talk about, buying a home and what to do and not to do. Should you stay in Airbnb or not? And should you bring your dogs? As well, real quick, let me ask you this, Sophia. If you could wrap up your story and maybe provide just like 1 or 2 points, and you already have a bit, a sort of lesson, let's look back and learn a lesson to provide and what really, what connects you to the story we mentioned with Kevin and the love of the game and, moving and all that great stuff that you have to provide.
Yeah, absolutely, Trey. Thank you for that. And, they say that it's good that people learn sports because they learn leadership.
Yeah.
And like me, maybe you don't have to be the sportsiest person out there to truly, find your voice and your place as a leader, really, in your community. That doesn't come with titles, and it comes right from the heart and from connecting and from learning of people. So I guess one of my first points will be to be open.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. One of the things I feel my story and Kevin's is very similar. Just like we're open to take those opportunities. We're open to go for it. And we're open to learn from, that particular experience. And the second piece will be, no fear.
Yeah.
So, or
no, I like that.
bravery, really, because the fear might be there.
Yeah.
The fear might be there, but you need to choose your path for yourself.
Yeah.
Ultimately. So
I like that.
Yeah.
Fear. So there's a quote. It's from a terrible movie. It's from Will Smith and his son. They do a movie together. I think it's called After Earth. It's a terrible movie. I don't remember anything about it except the quote. It says, danger is real. Fear is not. And I thought that's a very cool point from such a bad movie. But you think this father-son duo would crush it, and they don't have much chemistry. But very cool quote that I don't know if it's originally from that movie. They might be taking it from somewhere else. Who knows? That might be like a Kurt Vonnegut quote or something. But yeah, you can't be afraid. You have to be courageous to make these moves and, to make the decisions you made in your life to, take a step out of Mexico, to go to Madrid, to go to Savannah, go to, Demi had a job here, but you to come here and try to find a gig too, and to find such a successful job and really implement yourself and submit yourself as one of the senior people at Goodwill. You speak for yourself. That's incredible. But yeah, we're going to soundbite that for sure. That was great. those points you just made.
Absolutely. And, I would like to leave you with an original quote.
Okay.
And that is our effort.
A Sofia quote?
No, that is a Sandra Maya quote. That's my mother. So that is our effort and our tenacity are the basis for our success.
I'm going to put that on my wall, get it in a painting. That's very cool.
I know, right? Super powerful. So, that is hers, and just my motto is caring and committing. And, maybe one day I'll have a cool quote like my mom.
We're on the start of it. We'll workshop it together and see what we come up with.
There we go.
Yeah. Everyone, we do have a couple events coming up. You can come meet me and Sofia. We're not that great, but I'm just saying, come meet us. We're very easy to meet. We're easy to find. August 22nd, we have our 505 at Red Dragon Brewery, right downtown. And then on September 10th, we have our Look Back and Learn lunch with Kevin Breen of Caldwell Banker Elite, and a little spotlight of Sofia De Hoyos. Our MC will be Kevin McCandlish. I haven't asked him if he wants to do that yet, but he will. He'll say yes.
Okay. Thank you for doing that, Kevin.
We love you, Kevin.
We love you.
Maybe we'll give him a podcast. Or maybe we'll just tell him day of. Or let's see if he's listening to podcast.
I know. That will be, his pop quiz.
Yeah. Kevin, you have 2 days to respond to this. See if you're actually listening. All righty. Sofia, thank you so much for coming in. This was so fun.
Thank you, Trey. Absolutely.
Yeah. Wonderful. Everybody, thanks for listening. We don't have an anthem or a jingle yet. Feel free to freestyle on the mic real quick if you want, Sofia, or if you're listening, send us some fun tunes or jingles. Everyone, thanks for listening. Have a great rest of your day or evening. If I don't get to see you, have a good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
This was Next Gen Unscripted.
Unscripted. I love it. Can't forget that.